Hello, Centralia. I'm Shane Lothar.
And I'm Rachel Roddy.
And this is Centralia on Air. Thank you so much for joining us. Last week on the show, we had our first over-the-phone guest. Ashley Fry called in to talk to us about how she got started with her company, California Love Water.
And a special congrats to Stacy on Facebook for being the winner of our California Love Water giveaway.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, speaking of California, did you know California contains both the highest and the lowest elevations in the continental U.S.?
Yeah, and they're less than 88 miles apart.
This is crazy to me.
I know.
You got the whole United States, the highest point and the lowest point. Not only are they in the same state or the same area of the country,
they're not even 100 miles apart.
Yeah. The California high point is Mount Whitney at just under 14,500 feet above sea level. And
just east is the lowest point in the U.S., the Badwater Basin in Death Valley National Park. It's 282 feet below sea level. Unlike Love Water, Badwater's name comes from the pool of water found at the bottom that's been poisoned by all the salt that's built up over the years.
Reminds me of another low point in America. The day Betty Crocker discontinued Dunkaroos.
What?
Remember Dunkaroos?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a low point.
That is a low point.
Anyways, that was last week. But this is this week.
That's right. On today's show, Gayla Harting cements her place as reigning champion with the most Centralia on Air appearances. Gayla stopped by to tell us all about the Centralia Youth Commission and their upcoming volleyball tournament. Today we have in studio Gayla Harting from the city of Centralia, and she's going to tell us all about the Centralia Youth Commission. Gayla, I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but for the people who don't know, tell us who you are, what you do, and then we're going to talk about the Centralia Youth Commission.
Thanks, Rachel. I am Gayla Harting with the City of Centralia, as you said. Official title is the Director of Community Development and the Planning and Zoning Administrator, and then I also oversee the Code Department. With having that, I sit on or oversee several boards and commissions through the city, and this is one of my favorites probably is my Centralia Youth Commission.
All right, so the Centralia Youth Commission is 7th grade through seniors. Mm-hmm. How many kids do you have?
We are allowed to have up to 25 students, and as you said, they can come in anywhere in between that 7th grade through their senior year. They stay on, and then we have graduation little party and everything, and they move on. We still have some come back and be mentors for us, but come back and see us during different activities. But there are 25 that are allowed to be on there. We do that by an application process that we'll send out usually once a year. I get with different counselors at the school or people that I know that have church groups, youth groups and such. Also, the current commissioners will hand those out to friends or family members within that age group. Most of the time we try to go towards that younger, the 7th and 8th grade, and get them into the commission, and then they stay throughout. But there are times that a sophomore or a junior has joined and, just stayed on with us for a couple years.
So basically, this is about getting kids involved in the community, right?
Absolutely, and it's also a way for their voice to be heard. So, especially on an annual basis, we go and report to the city council and the mayor, telling them what's going on in the city for the youth and what they think could help the youth. But we meet on a monthly basis, this commission does, and any time that they have things they would like to be given to the mayor or the city council, I take that information to them, or they can come to a council meeting anytime we'd like to talk about things. They have strong interest and concerns and care about our community, and this lets them know how it goes on, like behind the scenes, if you will. One of the things that I love with this is that we teach the kids you can't just say, hey, I'd like for the city to have a, ABC. They learn that it costs money to do things and planning and prep. And if you want something done, this is how you do it. And we work together and get it done. We've done different things like traveled as a group to other communities. One time Salem had the suicide awareness events, and we went as a group to listen and to learn and to see if that was something that we needed to bring back to Centralia for our youth. We've had a different involvement with education stuff with the drug awareness out at the high school. Had a seminar one time. They always participate in the overdose awareness thing that just happened out at Fairview Park the other day.
Yeah.
So they get involved in a lot of different ways.
This is cool because it gives kids a taste of like what it's like in the real world, like what it takes to run a city.
That's right.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the commission meets monthly, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you have various activities throughout the year.
There was supposed to be a volleyball tournament today, but it's been canceled. You guys are going to reschedule soon, I'm sure. Tell us what will be going on that event and once you pick a new date.
We'll start a cookout out at Fairview Park at the 2 sand volleyball lots. And this is an annual thing that the kids do and put together. We take up to 14 teams, and we have everything is free, small cookout and a tournament for the day, and we run in through the evening. Teams come out and have hot dog and chips and cookies and drinks, and then we all start playing the tournament. They have a great time. We have something that's very silly but is so fun is they do a Team Spirit Award. So the kids that are coming out there they do cheers or they have the best outfits. I mean, and it doesn't have to be anything purchased. They'll just have white T-shirts that they paint, or they wore different colored socks one year. And the trophy was a huge stick painted with blue and glitter and had marshmallows on the end. And those kids last year were fighting for that trophy.
Oh my gosh.
They really had a good time. But yeah, this is something they put on that's free to our community. We're able to do this by a fundraiser that they have every year called Eat to Compete. And Centralia High School is very nice and allows us to go in and do this fundraiser at the home game for the Orphans versus the Rams every year basketball game. And the kids, Second Baptist Church lets us use their kitchen, and we go make chili and hot dogs, nacho meat, all kinds of stuff, and we take it out to the school and we sell that one time and make money. And we have some contest of Rams versus Orphans and things for some competition. Yeah, and with that money they raise, they put on the volleyball tournament every year for free.
Cool.
So I love that it lets them also know about giving back. They have that fundraiser and they make the money, but then with that money they give back, to the community.
Yeah, instead of blowing it all on a Six Flags trip.
Hey, I know.
They could if they wanted
and they
to.
do. They can if they want to, because that's their money. But they choose every year to do this, and we also have at the Eat to Compete. The money goes towards this, but we also pick a charity every year because all the money raised doesn't need to go towards this. There's not that much to put this on financially.
Right.
So they pick a place they would like to donate some money to, and they have done, there is a Lifeboat Alliance out of Mount Vernon, and so they split the money with an organization they would pick from Centralia and with Mount Vernon, since it is the Rams and the Orphans, and they want to be fair and divide some of that up. They've done like food banks. They have done a outreach group through the high school. They have a CHS Cares, and they've given money to them before. They're good kids.
And to tie back to an earlier episode, some of the other volunteering stuff the kids do, they help out at the community garden, right?
We do, at least a couple times a year, but once a year usually for spring cleanup, if you will, to help get the beds ready, to haul mulch around, and it's a lot of work, but they always have a good time. And this past year, we joined up with the Centralia Connected Mentoring Group, and they came out with the Youth Commission with the gardening club that does it. So it was really nice. We had probably 50 people out there this year, all various ages, helping and doing the community garden.
That's awesome.
They also go out to the recycling center on different Saturdays of the year. And, they're, again, teenage kids, 7th grade through seniors. Who would think they'd get up early on a Saturday morning to go help at a recycling center? But they have all signed up, and we take a Saturday. Each one of them pick a Saturday, and the adults separate with them and get out there and get dirty and recycle.
Students, if you're looking for something to put on your resume for college.
It is. It's huge for them to
Right.
do that. At the end of their, time and with their graduation, I have every one of them coming back to me saying, hey, my counselor, when I was telling her things I've done, she said, get something from somebody at the city, to get your letterhead and get that on there. And it helps them a lot.
So you said there's an application like once a year to be on the Youth Commission?
Normally we do that just to keep it simple, if you will, but at any time during the year, if we'd have an opening, if any of the kids come to me and say this, or sometimes I've even had a school counselor give me a call and say, hey, I've got Bobby over here, and I think he could use a little help or belong to a group. So these kids on this youth commission, we have athletes, we have band, we have computer club, we have actors in the theater type stuff. Anything comes in, and what I love about it is to find the kid that doesn't have a clique, if you will, or that group to fit into sometimes, and then once a month they come in and they're with different age group kids with different types, variety of things that they like, and we mix and we mingle. And they get to learn different people and different things, but they're a part of a group that they might not have at school.
And they're making new friends.
Absolutely. Yep.
Which is always a good thing.
Yes, and good friends that I keep an eye on.
So how many people help you do this?
There are 10 adult commissioners that go with the 25 student commissioners and myself. Yep.
Do you ever plan on making this bigger?
Actually, right now, 25 is as big as it's ever been. It started out with like 10 and 12, and then we got up to, 15 and then 20, and now we're at 25.
Yeah.
And that is a pretty good size group to get things done and to get in a meeting and get everybody heard. But as of right now, we don't have plans to make it bigger. But if it ever hit the 25 and we knew there were more, I know the city council would go ahead and vote that through, that they'd let me have more.
So if we have a student or volunteer listening right now and they want to know more, what should they do?
They can give me a call at City Hall, and that's Gayla Harting at 533-7623. That's 533-7623 if I speak too fast, sorry. And just ask about the Centralia Youth Commission, or if you have if you yourself were interested in being on it, or if you have a student in your class or a child at home or niece and nephew, anything that you think would be good to be into this. One thing I do ask is that they do commit their time, and they do sign a little agreement, when they come in, that they will commit their time. And if they also sign a little thing saying that if you will represent yourself as a commissioner at all times, that if you're at school and you get in trouble, the counselor is allowed to call Gayla and say, you got a youth commissioner in here and this is what's going on.
Oh.
And if I need to go into the school to be of help in any way that I can, I would. The other thing is, if you have a child who's, again, not in a group, or maybe you feel that's going in the wrong group and you'd like some help and get them in this committee, I promise you, at least once a month while we're together, we talk and visit about things. One thing I love about it is I've had several kids, we always tell them at every meeting or any email I send out, we're here for you if you need anything, all of the adult commissioners. And I've had several reach out to me on a private note and say, hey, I need a little help with this, or this is going on at home, can we talk a little bit? And I'll do that anytime, as well as any of the other adult commissioners that would do that for them.
Man, Gayla, making him go to city meetings, sign papers.
I
It's
know.
like you're catapulting him into adulthood.
What are we thinking? Getting ready to be an adult.
Right?
I know. Commitment and all this. Ridiculous.
Okay, so you're listening to Centralia on Air with Shane and Rachel. We're talking with Gayla from the city. She's talking about the Centralia Youth Commission. So let's talk about one more time all the stuff that you guys do. You also do the community garden.
Yeah.
And then the recycling.
Yes.
Okay.
We do the Eat to Compete.
Eat to
That's
Compete.
our annual fundraiser. So every year we have a few things that they pick and vote on that's their mandatory events. And those are some that we just mentioned that are mandatory, which means you show up unless you've got a really good excuse and you get that okayed. Everybody has things that come up. But then the other monthly meetings they should attend, and then as things come up through the year, like last year we voted to walk in the Halloween parade. Most everybody was there, and we got one of the city trucks and we got some candy and handed out, but the kids also voted themselves and got a little slip of paper about positive thoughts. And they got their thoughts together, and it could be anything positive about your community. I mean, they talked about go see the Centralia Library, it's great. They talked about the new pier at Raccoon Lake. You've got to see it. And they were on these slips of paper, and every paper had a piece of candy, and on the back of the paper it said Centralia Youth Commission, and they handed those out. So I mean, these kids are thinking all the time. They're not just having fun. They're having fun while they're promoting their city, while they're learning about how to run a city. So I always tell them, you go off and you go to school and you get your education, then you get back here and you help me.
Yeah.
And one great example of our youth, and there's many, and so I shouldn't single out names, but just one example of a great youth here in town, and we have many. But De'Aaron Owens from Centralia was from Centralia, born and raised. His grandmother's on some of my committees in the city and everything, went to Centralia High School, was a big athlete, and everybody knew him. Signed on, went to college ball, and he's on again in a 4-year college. He comes back every year and comes to the Community Youth Center and works with those kids every year. He's at the rec center, and he puts on their youth basketball programs, So that's one of my kids I always bug and bother. You go get your education, and you get back here and you help Gayla.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
So he stuck around.
He's gone away back to college now, but he does promise me that his goals are to get out of college and come back, and teaching and counseling and coaching is what he wants to do, and I would love that. So, there's always negative in any community you're from, and we have our downfalls, and but things like this, that gives me hope for our future, is seeing these kinds of kids and what they can do.
Yep. Okay, so sand volleyball tournament at the park.
Yep.
Probably too late to put a team together, right?
If you could get, what we do is 6 to 7 kids on a team. We say it's from 7th grade on up to 105 years old.
Hello.
If you're 106, we'd probably go ahead and take you.
We'll see.
But if you'd like to come out and get a team together, please do. We'll try to get you worked in. But the other thing is, if you'd just like to come out and see these kids, come out and see them. It's free. Everything is free. Come out and bring your lawn chair and support our youth. Grab a hot dog and just have a good day. We talked about different ways to promote this, and one of the things we were saying is a free family fun day at Fairview, and we were all trying to get so anybody listening, come on out.
And it's my kind of price, too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys get that rescheduled soon. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does sound like it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody loves a good volleyball game.
Top Gun much?
All right, Gayla, anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it. I appreciate it very much. This is a great group of kids.
All right. You're listening to Centralia on Air with Shane and Rachel. And Gayla, thank you so much for being here today. I can't wait to have you back again.
Thank you.
Shane and Rachel here. You're listening to Centralia on Air. Rachel, how's it going? How you been? How's your Labor Day? Do you think we'll ever really know who killed JFK?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Been working on a lot of wedding stuff. Getting ready.
How many days?
57.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Something like that. My Labor Day was great.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Laid in the pool.
Oh, Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Just laid around in the pool listening to the radio.
Oh. What station? You don't have to answer that.
Why?
It's obvious, right?
Yeah, it's obvious. 106.9. WDML.
Rock and roll.
Because I never get to listen to my brother.
That's right.
And so I got to listen
Yep.
to his whole show because he had to work on Labor Day.
Nothing's more important than family.
That's right. Just remember that. What about you? How you been? What do you know?
Oh, yeah.
How was your Labor Day?
Yeah. Labor Day. I think I did absolutely nothing. Jess was off.
Yeah?
The kids were home. Just one big family hanging out.
Hanging out.
Doing nothing. It was so hot outside.
It was.
You had the pool.
Yeah.
I guess I could have turned on the hose or something.
What do people do that don't have a pool? That's what I want to know.
You stay inside
Yeah.
and don't burn.
I'm not burnt.
Not you. My family.
Yeah.
The Pales.
You're like the vampire family.
Watch it. So, Rachel, I'm looking at the calendar, and today is a very special day. What day is it, Rachel?
It's National Grandparents' Day.
Woohoo! You know, grandparents are like parents, only way better.
Yes.
They're more, they're bigger, they're more...
Grand?
That's it, exactly, thank you. And that's why I think it's time we celebrate what makes grandparents so special. I think it's time for the top 5.
Heck yeah. Here it is, Shane and Rachel's top 5 best things about grandparents. Number 1, all those awesome nicknames.
The days of grandfather and grandmother are over. Today's grandkids call their grandma and grandpa all kinds of names. There's Nana and Papa.
Meemaw and Pawpaw. Mimi and Peepaw. Grams and Gramps.
G-Ma, G-Pa. That's a personal favorite of mine.
Is it? My personal favorite, don't forget, Grammy, Pop Pop. Okay, I don't say Pop Pop.
Okay. Gammy.
Gammy and
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
And don't get me started on how to say it in other languages. There's French, grand-mère, grand-père. German, oma, opa. Spanish, you know Spanish, right?
Abuela.
Mm-hmm. And?
Abuelo.
Right, okay. Greek, jaja, papos. Or my favorite, Hawaiian, kuku wahine.
I like that. That's what you need to say to your grandparents.
I love you, kuku wahine.
So what do you call your grandparents?
Jima Jipa.
You do?
But that mostly started as like writing it. Mm-hmm. Like texts and on cards and.
So my grandparents are older. So I was more like grandma, grandpa. Mm-hmm. But my grandma, I only have one grandma still alive. So I call her Gran. Like
yeah.
Hey, Gran, how you doing?
That works.
Sometimes I say Granny. Used to say Granny. And she'll leave me a voicemail. Rachel, it's your Granny.
There you go. No, I'm a grandma, grandpa guy.
Yeah.
I do have a Nana, so.
Okay.
Now, my kids, though.
Yeah.
Jessica's mom, it's a whole new ball game.
What do they say?
Juju.
Juju.
And apparently it all got started because our nephew, you know, her brother's kid, that is what he called Grandma Judy.
Oh.
Was Grandma Juju. And I think he just applied that to all the grandmas.
Okay.
So it just turned into Juju and Pawpaw.
Aw.
It's beautiful.
My mom is Grammy.
That's what the cat calls her?
That's what the cat calls my mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Grammy. Okay, all right. On to number 2. On our list of best things about grandparents, all those words of wisdom.
Those ancient bits of advice from Abuela that have stood the test of time. Wise words from wise men and women.
Your grandparents have seen some stuff. Just think about everything that's changed since they've been alive. No internet, no computers, no mobile phones.
What?
No HD TV. No HGTV. That was funny. No GPS. No microwaves.
That's scary stuff. And throughout all those years, grandparents have managed to come up with some good nuggets of wisdom, and some that are just a little weird. If you can't say something nice,
don't say anything at all.
You catch more flies with honey
than you do with vinegar.
A watched pot
never boils. That's so true.
That's very true. Good manners don't cost a thing. A leopard never changes spots. You don't get something for nothing. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
I like this one. Don't be the last one to leave a party. Always leave them wanting more.
I like that. My wife will like this one. Respect your teachers. They're just trying to teach you.
That's right. And then there's the big one. It ain't like it used to be.
Ain't like it used to be. Back in my day.
Okay, but hold on. Back to this, no GPS thing. How did they find their way?
Yeah, apparently they used to sell these things called atlases.
Atlases. So my parents still always have an atlas. They buy a new one every year.
Really?
Yeah.
They're keeping that industry alive.
Yeah. So when I went to Florida, this has been 7-8 years ago, I went with my friends. My dad highlighted
the
route to Florida on the atlas.
What a guy.
So the GPS, we got lost or there was a detour or whatever.
Of course.
And I'm like, girls, just get out the atlas. And they're like,
Huh?
what? There you
Nice.
go. Buy an atlas.
Okay, moving on to the third best thing about grandparents. They spoil you. Grandma's the name, spoiling's the game. It's like every single thing your parents told you not to do, they absolutely let their grandkids do. I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah. Have you seen that sign at a grandparent's house that says, grandparents' house rules? Kitchen open 24 hours. Dessert comes first. No parents allowed. Bedtime negotiable. Cookies for breakfast is allowed.
And my favorite, what happens at grandma's stays at grandma's.
Yes, that's so true.
Very.
That Meemaw and Pop or Pawpaw are always slipping you some money. 5 here, 10 there. A birthday check. Gotta love them.
Amen. Okay, number 4. Grandparents provide a much-needed relief from your parents. Remember, kids, no just means ask grandma.
So if you're not getting along with your parents, a trip over to your grandparents' house might just be the fix.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, they're probably going to take your side.
You know it. Grandparents, they act as good mediators between you and your totally unfair, completely out of touch parents.
That's right. Okay, I got to tell you something.
Hit me.
When I was growing up, my grandma and grandpa lived across the street.
Was that a good thing for you?
That's a great thing for me. Because when my mom and dad would make me mad or tell me no, I just ran
out.
across the street and...
I'm running away.
Yeah.
To your grandparents.
Yeah, across the street. So my grandma, I don't know how well, I'm sure she loved it. But anytime somebody would pull in her driveway and I didn't know who it was, I'd go over there, be nosy, see who it was, see who's at my grandma's house. So that was probably a little annoying to her.
Maybe.
Or maybe not. Maybe she
should
didn't
ask.
want him there.
Yeah, maybe you
It's a good way to get him to leave.
Well, my granddaughter's here.
Yeah, I got it.
Cheryl, I need you to get out of here.
Oh, she's on one today. So I was lucky as a kid growing up. I could
Very.
just run over there.
Some grandparents live in other states.
Yeah.
Far away. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness for FaceTime.
Yeah. Do you FaceTime a lot?
Not as much as I should.
Oh, okay. Did you help them set up a
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Let's just move on. I'm just kidding. You know it's good, though.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I've always wanted to.
But you help them set up so you can FaceTime.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It helps when you get everybody on the same phones.
Ugh, don't bring that up.
I know.
All right. Last but not least, number 5 on our list of best things about your grandparents, the food.
The food. Seriously, though. Who makes better food than Grandma? From appetizers all the way through to dessert, Grandma's got it going on in the kitchen.
Heck yes. My grandma made these cookies, and they were always in the freezer. And, you know, your parents only allow you to have so many cookies. But she told us where the rest of them were.
Nice.
So we'd sneak down to the basement and eat as many cookies as we wanted.
In the freezer? Were you just eating cookie dough?
Oh, I meant like on top of the freezer.
Oh, hidden.
Sorry. Hidden.
Nice.
All right. And then my favorite, fried chicken, green bean casserole, homemade pumpkin pie, apple pie, cherry pie. You
smell that?
I do.
That's the smell of Grandma. That's Grandma you're smelling.
That's right.
Well, that was our top 5 best things about grandparents. Call Nana and Papa up and tell them Happy Grandparents' Day.
Yeah, maybe ask them some fun questions. What kind of stuff they did for fun growing up? What was their first job? How much did gas cost when they were growing up? Where did they meet Grandma or Grandpa? So we talked about this. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to find out.
Yeah, dig up that family tree.
Yeah, but it's not going to say, like, this is where they met.
Can't you just look at their old tweets or something?
Yeah, their old Facebook messages.
Right.
MySpace messages. Instagram posts.
Yeah. Hack the servers.
Yeah.
They're there somewhere.
Somewhere.
You're listening to Centralia On Air with Shane and Rachel. Up next, we've got the community calendar, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're listening to Centralia On Air with Shane and Rachel. Here's a look at your community calendar. The Youth Center in Centralia, located at 1224 East Rexford, is sponsoring a job fair on Wednesday, September 19th from 2:30 to 6. For more information, call the Youth Center at 532-6530.
There's fun for the whole family at Walmack City Park for Walmack Fest on Saturday, September 15th, starting at 3 p.m.
Apple Fest at Bryan Memorial Park in Salem on Saturday, September 15th from 9 to 4. There will be food, live music, craft vendors, bounce house, and pony rides.
A spaghetti dinner benefit for Beck and Bass will be held on Saturday, September 15th from 4 to 8 at New Horizon Christian School in Centralia. $10 for adults, $6 for children 3 to 12 years old, and 3 and under are free. There will be a silent auction and 50/50 tickets.
St. Teresa Marydale Church, located 6 miles north of Carlisle on Route 127, is having a chicken dinner Sunday on September 23rd. Serving will start at 11 to 5, $11 for adults, and $5 for kids. Carryouts available.
Spaghetti dinner for Levi Sanders on Sunday, September 23rd at the Centralia Moose from noon until 4 p.m. Tickets are $10 each. There will be 50/50 drawing and a basket raffle.
The Nashville Chamber of Commerce will be hosting their 38th annual Fall Fest on Friday, September 28th and Saturday, September 29th. They will have entertainment, crafts, food, kids area, kids pet parade, and much more.
And your local blood drives, Friday, September 14th at Central City Elementary School from 3 to 6. Sunday, September 16th at St. Mary's School in Centralia from 9 to 1. And Wednesday, September 19th at the Centralia Moose from 11 to 6.
And that's a look at your community calendar on X95 and the Big 1210. If you have an event you would like to share with us, you can email wiley1210@gmail.com. Or for more information about these events and others, you can check out our website at x95radio.com.
That's it for this week. Happy Grandparents' Day. Feel free to hit us up on Facebook or Twitter at X95Radio if you want to comment on anything. If you like what you heard today, come back next Sunday at 11 on X95 and the Big 1210. You can also find past shows on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, she's Rachel Roddy,
And he's Shane Lopez.
and this was Centralia On Air.